who today will get their official caps, having represented their country between 1993 and 2005. The referee today,
Captain,
Ian Tempest.
Time you run, please, Ireland. Time it.
Bene,
time on.
The television match official, should we require him. And Niamh Briggs gets us off and running at Donnybrook, and Briggs will not be happy with that. A mistake from the gun from Ireland, and Briggs puts up her hand, but it'll be advantage Scotland, who will get the put in to the first scrum of the game on the halfway line. Fiona.
Yeah, it's unusual from Niamh. She was obviously going to look for height and just drop it on 10 metres, just miskicked it slightly and skewed off her foot. I don't think it'll weigh too much on her. I think she'll forget about it and move on, but it'll be interesting to see now how the first scrum goes. It's been Ireland's strength throughout the tournament from the very start in France.
It has indeed, in a scrum that is now tutored by former international prop forward Mike Ross, who's had an immediate impact to it, this Irish scrum, and you can see again as Conkle has to fish for it going backwards, but Scotland hold on to the ball and make way into the Irish half through the boot of Thompson, but it's picked up by Flood, and it's good to see Kim Flood with ball in hand. In fact, we haven't seen enough of Kim Flood with ball in hand. It'll be interesting to see if Ireland can bring the full back into play today as Lindsay Peake goes on a run, and Malloy is the Lincoln Nupu out to Megan Williams, who juggles with it but gets going, and Williams, if she can get up ahead of speed, is a flyer. Nupu does really well on her shoulder, and Williams makes sure the ball is protected, but it wasn't protected well enough. And Scotland got players in at the breakdown. Ireland pinged for holding on, but early signs from that Irish team of playing in the way that Griggs is now beginning to instill. And that's good link-up play. Yeah, really good play there. You saw Leah Lyons to Pete out to Nupu, and then looking to get that ball into space. And then another great offload and Sene Nupu picking it up. That's a big kick. Big kick from the boot of Martin and up to the Irish 22, just short of it. It'll be a throw in to the line out as you watch that replay again. Megan Williams, she probably not the fastest winger over the first 10 metres, but after that, when she hits fifth gear, she's an absolute flyer.
5+1 receiver in, please, one of you. Thank you.
Here is Lana Skeldon, the Watsonians hooker, and Scottish hooker, winning her 25th international cap, and she finds her player, and Jane Conkle, the number 8, had the ball in hand, and it's there for scrum half Sarah Law, Edinburgh University, and Nelson takes it on, advantage being played, and it's a bit of a wild pass, but it's gathered by Martin, and then the kick, but it was a kick to nothing. It was a free play. And Hannah Tyrrell gathered. The referee has blown the whistle. Some of the players now just hearing it, but we'll go back for the initial advantage. Ireland collapsing them all. Yeah, it was really good. Simple line out from Scotland. They had a bit of movement at the front, and the ball goes to Debs McCormick. She'd be their main line out jumper, and here we'll see it. There's Debs getting up nice and high. Good maul here. Claire Malloy, the one collapsing it, and then Scotland play on, and there was nothing on, so Martin just took that risk because she knew she had penalty advantage. Debs McCormick, 33 years of age, the oldest member of the pack for Scotland, winning her 27th international cap. Harlequins second row, and more opportunity for her here in the Scottish pack as Skeldon sets it up. There's a little bit of confusion as to the numbers that are required. Scotland just settling themselves down, making sure the communication is clear, and this is a real opportunity with this platform of the line out, and they take it, and it's there for Conkle, but the referee says not straight.
It's outside on.
How often do you see it when the team just looked a little bit unnerved going into that line out? The communication wasn't clear, and the end result is the execution isn't what it should be. Particularly because Ireland weren't going up defensively in the line out. They were standing down waiting for the maul to come, so Scotland were under no pressure there, and obviously it was in their head, and it was only slightly crooked, but you know that's not good enough when you've no pressure on you. So then the feed to this Irish scrum will be from Ailsa Hughes, the Railway Union scrum half, born in Tullamore, former Offaly intermediate camogie player, and she has settled very well into this scrum half position. Maybe a slight surprise that she started the tournament in the 9 jersey, but she has very much made it her own over the 3 games prior to this. Yeah, she played last year against Scotland. She got her start there, and then this year she's grown into the tournament nicely. You know, she's improved in every game. I thought she was really good last week against Wales. She got the ball moving, she got it out of the ruck really quickly, and took it on a few times herself as well. Feed is good. It's at the feet of Fitzpatrick, and Ireland break away, and Nupu crashes into her opposite number, Helen Nelson of Murrayfield Club in Edinburgh. Ailsa Hughes need Briggs, and Briggs dispatches to touch, and Scotland will get the throw into the line out again, but all the way outside the 22 now, having been at the 5-metre line.
Take the line.
Again, another good scrum, and then just hitting Senny Nupu just to set it up for the kick. There was an acre of space back here. Scotland are playing very flat up. They have everyone up bar the full back, so there is acres of space back in the backfield.
Yeah, Lynn Cantwell pointing that out prior to the game, the back three positioning for Scotland at times and leaves significant space for the attacking side, particularly the ball is turned over quickly. Skeldon once more, and it's a straight line out and a variation around the front, and here's Conkle, and Conkle straightens the line. That's good work from Scotland from that line out. It's there for Law, and then it's taken on by Bonner, and now the prop forward Kennedy doing the clear out work. Law, Scotland battering it up. The tackle on that occasion came in for McDermott, but it's there for the scrum half again. Law and Ireland are dragged in, and eventually are forced into conceding the penalty, and it's against Aoife McDermott. And an opportunity, you think, for Scotland. Yes, they will take the shot at goal and get points on the board, which their performance in the first 6 minutes justifies.
Really good control possession there off the line out, a bit of variety around the front, and then just went through the phases. A bit of naivety there by Aoife McDermott. She came in from the side, which the ref kind of let her away with her until she fell off her feet and killed the ball.
Of course, McDermott winning just her second cap this afternoon, having won her first against Wales a fortnight ago, in for Nicola Friday, who unfortunately was taken ill and hasn't recovered in time to be considered for the rest of this Six Nations. With McDermott doing really well against Wales. On this occasion giving away the penalty, and it'll be taken by Helen Nelson. Nelson straight as you would expect, and over it goes, and it's Scotland under their coach Shade Munro, who hit the front, and it's 3 points to 0.
Yeah, Shade Munro has done a brilliant job since he took over the Scottish side. You know, the style they're trying to play, he needs to now look for consistency in performances, which they've lacked over the last couple of years, but I think that will come. It's a very young squad, and they're developing, and those professional players will help. The fact that they've people in academies will help as well, and I think with experience it'll improve. Briggs
this time just gets the required distance, but again, not as clean a strike as Niamh Briggs would want.
Okay. Ireland, take the line, please. Thank you. Take the line, yeah, thanks.
She's hardened herself, Niamh Briggs. We've seen it over the couple of weeks of the Six Nations so far. She just isn't firing on everything she has. It's been a long way back from a number of injuries.
That's
Briggs,
4, Ireland, adapt, thank you.
But on occasion, she's lacked the sharpness.
Yeah, I think it's understandable after that length of time out. You know, she obviously isn't as fit as she'd like to be, and then that is weighing on her head, and then to move into position from 15 to 10, it's a complete change as well.
Down from McCormick again, and the line out for Scotland. They have plenty of room out wide, but playing way behind the gain line as they were offloading, so Ireland's defence just stood and watched, and eventually when they get to the gain line, the green jerseys are there. That's the carry from Bonner again. It's good work from the blind side. Scrum half has options both ways, and here's an opportunity for Scotland. It's a forward pass from Raleigh to Smith, but it was good hands from Scotland, good variation. And Ireland, if they had any doubt about the abilities and the intent of Scotland, well, in the opening 9 minutes they should have been answered.
Definitely, they're here to play. You know, they've really exciting players, the likes of Thompson. We see Raleigh there just forcing it a little bit over the head that had the forward pass, but they can play. They are playing very deep. If they played a little bit flatter, they would put Ireland under more pressure. They're letting it a little bit easy for Ireland to come up in that defensive line.
No, we can play. Okay, thanks.
Referee having a little look out wide to see that Katie Fitzhenry was receiving attention, but he's happy. Now she's back in the line. We'll get on with the game anyway. Ailsa Hughes. And the ball scoots out the back of the Irish scrum, and the scrum half reacts well. Griffin protects Leah Lyons. Looks like she's going to play scrum half, and Cleona Maloney will run into her opposite number, Lana Skeldon. Here's Fitzsimons. Puts the head down. Attempted rob from Siobhan Macmillan, but still there for Ireland. Naupu, Fitzhenry, Flood, a little bit static when she got the ball, but holds onto it, and it's there for Briggs. And Naupu has skipped in this Hannah Tyrrell, who came on as a substitute against Wales again, back from sevens duty and back playing 15s. Ailsa Hughes, Leah Lyons wrapped up. Good tackle on that occasion from Conkle. Good work at the breakdown. Nothing easy for Ireland. Scotland are playing at a tempo and are playing with an intent that has Ireland a bit rocked in this opening 10 minutes, and they've turned the ball over.
It was really clever play. Ciara Griffin thought it was safe, and they come in and counter ruck it. There by Wassell, she comes in and counter rucks it and forces the knock on.
Emma Wassell in the second row alongside McCormack. Wassell, another from Murrayfield's club in Edinburgh.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Feed from Law. Retreating scrum. Conkle takes and goes. Griffin goes in chase. Conkle did really well, but eventually she's put to ground. She spills the ball, and it's picked up by Paula Fitzpatrick and McDermott on her shoulder, and there for Ailsa Hughes, and now Claire Malloy. Little show from Malloy. And she tries to spark Ireland into a bit of action.
Vantage over.
At the breakdown, Ailsa Hughes then. Neve Briggs has a look up to see where Scotland's back three might be. That's a good kick, and back after it goes Raleigh, but Fitzhenry's chasing her down now. Raleigh, good step, once, twice off Williams, and looks to turn defence into attack. Naupu should have had her, didn't. And Ireland are going to breathe a huge sigh of relief, because Chloe Raleigh, having looked like she was going to get caught in possession back towards her own line, did wonderfully well, elusive running, around three tacklers, and just one more, the right pass, may well have found Ireland chasing all the way back to their own line.
Yeah, we see the force turner there, Ciara Griffin. She was slow off the scrum, but she tracked it back really well. And then we see Raleigh. She picks, she steps, she hands off, and then just forcing that offload again. They're looking to move it, but they're just forcing it a little bit too much.
2 tries for that woman, Chloe Raleigh, against Wales in the opening game of the tournament for Scotland.
Bind. Set.
Here she is again. Scotland hold up Ireland's scrum on that occasion. Here's Neve Briggs, and Briggs for Fitzhenry. That's a decent angle from Ireland's outside centre, who then uses strength to get herself another yard or two. Ailsa Hughes caught in possession, but did well to get away. Then the pass, was it forward? Yes, it was.
Forward pass by 9. Thanks, man.
Really strong run there from Katie Fitzhenry, you know, sucking in the Scottish defence, which was creating the space out wide. A little bit of fumble there by Ailsa Hughes, that she couldn't get the ball out quickly where the space was. Here we see this really strong line powering through 2 players, 3 players, and Law just getting her down eventually. And Ailsa just picks, fumbles a little bit, but goes herself in the forward pass to Paula Fitzpatrick.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Defensive scrum for Scotland, fed by Sarah Law. Then Ireland again get the shove on, but Scotland have dealt with that Irish scrum really well in terms of getting the ball away from the number 8 Conkle really quickly. Here's Chloe Raleigh, and that's a high tackle from Fitzhenry. Surely the referee didn't stick his arm out, and the touch judge on this side hasn't said anything, so on will play. Kennedy, drop forward from Sterling, sets Scotland up again.
Advantage, roll clear.
Now there is a penalty advantage for Scotland at the last breakdown, but they've taken full advantage, and away they come through Elizabeth Musgrove. And now it's there for Law.
That's advantage over.
Huge ground made from Scotland as Kennedy goes on another barnstorming run and sets it up for Law once again.
Thanks.
Scrum half eventually digs it out, and it goes to Martin, the captain. Springs the pass out, that's at the foot, so it's not a knock forward. And Ireland turn it over, and the referee says Ireland off their feet. And it's a penalty to Scotland.
Okay.
And it's Scotland who are playing all the rugby in terms of ambition and execution.
Penalty advantage anyway.
Really exciting. That came off a scrum that was going backwards. Scotland are managing to get the ball out really quickly off the scrum. We saw Thompson there on a really good break. Conkle had passed to her, and then they're just looking to move the ball, and they're asking questions of this Irish defence.
Well, that's where it came off the boot, and then Henry picks up, and who goes off her feet? Cleena Maloney. I think the Irish hooker, but there was the original break from Lisa Thompson, Leal outside centre. And after all that, Scotland find themselves with another line out inside the Irish 22. About the third occasion in the opening 15 minutes that they found themselves in this position. From their perspective, only 3 points to show from that territorial dominance. And they've misfired in that line out again when the opportunity was there for more points. And Ailsa Hughes and Ireland will undoubtedly find their way out of this. Briggs thought about the kick, got wrapped up by 3 players. Ireland need to get there, protect the ball. Gonna have to sort out that breakdown, Ireland. There's lots of opposition from Scotland, and they're making it difficult for Ireland at the breakdown. Eventually the kick comes from the scrum half, but if we go back a fortnight, Ireland's accuracy in everything that they did against the Welsh, so far Scotland have unsettled them.
Scotland are putting numbers into the breakdown, which Wales didn't do. Wales just found out, and Scotland are timing it really well. It's when Ireland are vulnerable that they're going in and asking questions of Ireland, and they just need to blow the Scottish defence out and then seal and make sure that ball is there for Ailsa Hughes.
Skeldon.
Go back.
And the Scottish line out again inside the Irish 22. It's been hit and miss from this position before for the women in Navy, and on that occasion they do well, and it's down and there for the inside centre Nelson, who's asked to take it on, and then Smith comes off her wing, and now it's Conkle, and the offload to McCormack. And Scotland quickly recycle, and they have players out wide, but can they execute? The space is tight as Lisa Martin turns back inside, and Law feeds Conkle again, but she spills it, and it's her opposite number Fitzpatrick who picks it up and sets it up for Ailsa Hughes. And Niamh Briggs
nothing there.
Off the side of the boot slightly, but I'm not sure she didn't intend that, because Scotland were up in attack and Ireland's out half knew it, and she has sent them right back. Hannah Tyrrell has done the chasing. Now can she make the tackle? The ball is offloaded, and across this side Scotland come through Helen Nelson. Played it out half against England. Fortnight ago, and Ireland have been pinned at the breakdown again.
Paula Fitzpatrick not rolling away. I think she was in a bit of difficulty there with an injury that she couldn't, but you'd have to make an effort. Here we see Nelson, and we just see Paula Fitzpatrick just lying there, not rolling away and not allowing quick Scottish ball.
Let's go.
It was a brilliant kick from Niamh Briggs. You know, she saw identify where the space was. The Irish defensive line was a bit all over the place. That they allowed space, and Hannah Tyrrell rushed up fast, missed Raleigh, who moved the ball out to Nelson.
We're going to continue.
There is a injury to Ireland as Scotland surprised even their own players by going cross field through the boot of Nelson. It was a shorter route to this side, but she went to the far side. And
don't make any contact for me at the
number of Irish players who will, former Irish players, will receive their caps later this afternoon. Whole slew, 102 former players here to watch this Irish match and take part in the festivities later today.
Even to identify all those ladies and get in contact with them was a tough job that Sinead Cosgrave took over, and people had got married, they didn't know their new names, and Facebook trawling and stuff, and fair play to them for getting in touch with everyone who was on that list.
Down from McCormack, and that's a bit of a mess for Scotland, but they retain possession. And it's there for scrum half Sarah Law, 34th international cap today. Scotland again throwing the ball around, but very much behind the gain line. And now with Raleigh, there's a bit of space opens up. Nupu makes the tackle, and it's off to Hannah Smith. And Ireland flood that breakdown, but Scotland have held onto the ball, and it's there for Prop Kennedy. A little bit scrappy at times for Scotland, but Ireland now very narrow defensively. If that ball had got away, it could have been called out wide. Claire Malloy made the tackle on Emma Wassell. Now the boot of Martin, and where's this one off to? Into touch over on that far side, but it's all got a little bit scrappy.
Yeah, I was worried that if the game got loose at all, that Scotland, it would suit Scotland a lot more than it suit Ireland, that they'd playing quite a structured game in comparison to Scotland. But there's been unforced errors. We've seen Jade Conkle knock on twice, which is very unlike her. Ball going to ground on a couple of passes as well.
Skeldon once more as we head towards the end of the first quarter in the Donnybrook Stadium in Dublin, and it's taken by Wassell, and now Scotland will use runners out wide to try and blast some holes. Here's Bonner, and now on her shoulder is Nelson, and
knock on only.
Scrappy. Megan Williams makes the tackle. Ball goes backwards. Williams goes in search of another tackle and makes it, and Briggs takes out a bit of frustration in the hit on Hannah Smith. Conkle picks and goes. Williams makes a third tackle in the space of 30 seconds. Martin, ball not going to hand, but picked up by Rachel Malcolm wearing the open side number 7 shirt.
Penalty, okay?
Penalty advantage being played as
just a
Nelson
PK.
takes it on,
okay,
and now it's Law, and
come back, no advantage, deliberate knock-on.
Deliberate knock-on, says the referee in the middle of all of that, so that's a direct penalty.
Good work, Stefano. Deliberate knock-on.
I have to say I didn't see it, but the television match official is the man who's been credited by Ian Tempest, the referee, for seeing it.
Yeah, I thought it was a part of the tackle. She was going into tackle, and that forced the knock-on. I don't think it was deliberate. Well, it didn't look deliberate.
Captain, please.
6 penalties in a row now against
Too many penalties
Ireland.
Against your team, just generally across the park.
Okay.
We need to change behaviour, okay?
Yes,
if not, someone could be leaving the field.
No problem. So can highlight one point, please?
Yeah.
Just lying over the ball, making it slow for us to get out.
I'll have a look for you, okay? But the penalties that we've given, there's too many now. Thank you. Cheers.
That's, well, you know what happens next. Another penalty, particularly in an attacking position, and Ireland are going to find themselves down to 14 players. They may well find themselves 6 points down as well in a moment, as Helen Nelson sets this one up, strikes it. Is it coming back in? No, it's not. And that's a let-off for Ireland. It remains after 21 minutes. Ireland 0, Scotland 3.
Yeah, Ireland are giving away these penalties because they're under so much pressure from that Scottish attack. They're looking to hit it and then move it, and Ireland just aren't really lining quick enough, and, you know, easy penalties.
Let's see, this is where the penalty came. That was it from Fitzhenry.
Guys,
putting her
time you
arm
run,
out.
please, behind. Time you run.
You could see why it was given, but you could also see a number of those in the game that
Guys,
aren't.
all in front there, please.
Anyway, remains 3 points to 0, and
that's
Briggs
perfect, thanks.
will get Ireland underway. This time she goes long. 2 players call for it, neither gather it, and eventually it's Chloe Raleigh who fires it out to her out half, and then a little kick ahead from Thompson, picked up by Ailsa Hughes, and now Fitzhenry, and Megan Williams offers herself on the outside, does the clear out work, left for Hughes once more. Maloney, that's better. Good line from Ireland's hooker. Scrum half can see it again. Now Griffin, captain, makes the run, and Ireland have sucked in the Scottish defence. If they could go wide now, Scotland have got a numbers problem. And Briggs, has she been able to identify it? She has. Nupu, the ball is slow to get there. Megan Williams needs to let it go, and she doesn't, and it's knocked forward. And Ireland, well, they saw what was on, they just weren't able to execute it.
Yeah, it was clever by Ireland. They took 2 forward runner balls. The second one was a slow ruck, and then the space was out there, and it was just Senny Newcombe probably took it on too much, and then Megan Williams just forcing there while Lisa Martin was in contact with her. So the space was there. We just need to move it a little bit further, quicker. Senny Newcombe didn't need to take the ball on. She could have just passed it, and the space was there.
9. Okay, 9. Middle. Okay, thank you. Thanks for your time. Thanks. Okay, thanks. Crouch! Bind! Set!
Law's feed. Ireland gets squeeze on Conkle, as she's done so well throughout this first half. Manages a retreating scrum, takes the ball, and then makes ground. And this time Ireland get the penalty at the breakdown. Who else? Malloy and Griffin, back rowers between the two of them.
First one in, over ball, all right.
Got a hold of it, and Griffin calls for Cam, and Ireland will get the penalty.
Conkle is doing incredibly well off that scrum, going backwards, making ground on here. I don't think there was a clear release there from Malloy. She kind of was going down on the player when she was tackling, and no clear release, but the referee was on the far side.
Yeah, Malloy off her feet, didn't retreat, but I think it was Griffin that the referee did see. Anyway, one way or the other, maybe Ireland a little lucky, but they get the penalty. Downfield it goes, and the platform of a line out inside the Scottish 10-metre line. It's been a rare foray into that sort of territory for Ireland in this first half. Here's Ailsa Hughes and Fitzpatrick.
Move!
Tackle made by Kennedy. Hughes once more. Briggs. Nupu, the dummy. Hannah Tyrrell off her wing. Spills the ball, but does well to get back
Release
and
now,
claim
tackle.
possession again. Back to the halfway line, though. Ireland go. Here's Cleena Maloney. Standing start. Runs into Kennedy and co. In
Stay low
defensive
now,
duty
release,
for
now
Scotland.
release.
Leah Lyons, a little bit isolated as she goes to ground.
Rock.
And Nupu tries to make sure possession is secured, but again Scotland making it really difficult at the breakdown for Ireland. Now Tyrrell from a flat pass. Flat pass, to me, is forward to the referee, and Scotland will get the put into the scrum.
Scotland covers an all-in difficulty still at that breakdown that LCUs has to go in and dig the ball out, and that means the Scottish defensive line are up a little bit.
Whoa.
It does depend on the line that the referee is standing on, what they see. Very, very flat ball.
Sun peeks out at Donnybrook. And Scotland
Crouch.
will have the put into the scrum once more.
Bind.
You feel that Ireland have got to
Set.
figure a way of dealing with Scotland at the breakdown, because they're making life incredibly difficult for Ireland's scrum half, and therefore all possession is dirty possession rather than clean and comfortable.
No, Stelling. No!
Ireland told to leave it alone. As tempting as it was, looked like it was out, but the referee decided it wasn't.
Release now,
again,
you're never clearly on ball, release!
Scotland throw the numbers in and possession is secured. Back it goes to Conkle. And Scotland inside the Irish half once more. Here is outside half. Oh, and now it's with Smith. Hannah Smith sets it up. Scrum half Law and outside half
Who's
Martin.
that talking, please?
It's a good run as Leah Lyons look to make the hit on Skeldon, and the penalty is Ireland's at the breakdown. Holding on against Scotland, and Ireland beginning to do to Scotland what has been done to them for the first 25 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. We'll probably
Great carry there by Skeldon, and Claire Malloy straight in and doing what she does best, turning over the ball. Prior to that, though, we saw brilliant hands by Thompson. Didn't even go into her hand, she didn't even catch it, just flicked on the pass out here to the wing.
Just doesn't look for the good for the game.
No, I understand that.
I'll talk to you when I see.
Yeah.
But if you shout at me like that again, then we will have to do something else. Okay. Time off, please. Yeah, that's fine.
Briggs just getting a little friendly warning from the referee about
Does she need to go, do you think?
saying things she shouldn't while the game is ongoing.
Yeah, you know, there's no point in saying anything to the referee. It has to all go through Ciara Griffin, and it's not saying things. It's asking him questions as opposed to telling him what she thinks is going on. It's about asking him what does he see, so they can deal with it.
Niamh Briggs, 61st international cap for Ireland's outside half, former fullback this afternoon. Mike Ross carrying the water to a Irish pack. Lindsay Peat on the right hand side. Ross, you can see, is absolutely enjoying every moment of his maiden voyage into coaching. He's had an impact as well, and you get the feeling that the players enjoy working with him.
They definitely do, and they've all bought into the process that he's brought into the squad, and he's enjoying it as well because he sees kind of the fruition of all his work that he's put into it by the girls' performances in the scrum.
Helen Nelson is okay, having had a bang on the nose, and the blood has been stemmed, and we can get underway again. Leah Lyons from this line out goes towards the tail, and that one wasn't straight right in front of us. No arguing with the referee there. Fitzpatrick
please.
has taken a bang. Ireland's 8. There is a bit of a breeze out there, but
not straight. Line out cold.
Not enough that you feel it should be
Stefano, time off.
Inaccurate like that from both sides.
You know, Scotland have probably had most of the possession already in this game, and to be just 3 points up is not somewhere that they will want to be, and I'm sure they'll want to look for something before half time. Ireland haven't got into their flow at all. They haven't got through the phases, and that's down to unforced errors and also Scotland getting in at them at the breakdown.
Paula Fitzpatrick okay to continue. Not the first time she's received attention in this first half. It's been scrappy for Ireland. It's been a scrappy game in general. Scotland who've shown the brighter moments.
Stefano, time on.
Still plenty of time for both sides to
Thank you.
sort it out as we tick
get out
towards the
gap,
half-hour mark in this
you.
first half. Skeldon. A short Scottish line out. Will Ireland compete? Not on that occasion. And it's there for Nelson. And Scotland through the back line. Fitzhenry almost made the interception. And Scotland hold on to possession, and it's there for Law. And now it's Bonner.
No, Rock!
Law once more. Martin did well down to her shoelaces, picked it up off the ground. Conkle takes it on. Briggs goes in search. Ireland through Leah Lyons need to get back on the right side. Referee happy to let it go. Here's Martin. Up quickly comes the Irish defensive line, led by Lindsay Peat and tackler Claire Malloy. Law at scrum half, Martin at outside half, all sorts of movement and almost got away, but the tackle came from Maloney and Malloy goes after the ball again. Scotland though blasts her away. An advantage being played again to Scotland for an infringement from Ireland at the breakdown, and they could be in trouble here.
Entry, playing the 9.
The referee happy to let it go. Lindsay Peat, the one who's penalised.
Yeah, the referee, I think he's forgotten
back
about
on the warning now, okay? It's now a formal warning. Next penalty like that goes to the bin.
Okay, it's very clear now. Next penalty is going to the bin. I thought he'd said that the last time that he'd no place to go.
Play, okay. Thank you.
You know, in fairness, around the breakdown, his communication has been quite good, talking to the players.
Penalty from Lisa Thompson is a good one, and it brings play down inside the 10-metre line now. Let's see where Lindsay Peat.
You need to just open, please.
There she is.
They're going to be there.
Headband and well.
Cheers. Thank you.
Here's where the near interception from Katie Fitzhenry was fingernails away, and that the pickup from outside half. Lisa Martin, who did well. The pass from Law was low, and she kept Scotland going forward. Tap back by McCormack, and Ireland come pouring through, and it's a poor line out from Scotland that finds themselves back inside their own half. Ireland holding up the tackler in an attempt to create a maul, which they do. If it doesn't come back on the Scottish side, it'll be an Irish put into the scrum. It all goes to ground, and Ireland executed that well.
Really good by Aoife McDermott. She got herself in on the ball, you know, which meant that Scotland had no other option but to try and drive it forward. Once it went to ground, it's an Ireland scrum.
Yeah, McDermott and Maloney started it. McDermott held on till the end. And the turnover for Ireland.
Yeah, the lineouts have been very disappointing on both sides. It's a set piece that you have to get right. When you have that much possession, you have to get that set piece right to get your back line into the game and get your moves working.
Bind. Set.
As Hughes feeds, it's at the feet of Fitzpatrick now. Briggs, Nupu. Fitzhenry, Nupu holds on. Sene Nupu to Hannah Tyrrell. Tyrrell goes to ground. Fitzhenry and Briggs and most of the back line in to try and secure possession. So Malloy carries, not held in the tackle, tried to get up, went to ground again. There for Hughes. Lindsay Peat. Peat changes direction, gets a yard, but maybe she didn't look like she was going to. Here's a Hughes, Niamh Briggs, Sene Nupu, and Nupu knocks it forward. And put into the scrum will be to Scotland. That's it for Ireland in this opening half. Unforced errors, lack of cohesion, and well, Nupu, having done so well initially, guilty in the end of a pretty straightforward drop.
Prior to that, Ireland hadn't made much ground off the last scrum. You know, they only made 1 or 2 metres, and that's something that they need to look at. They need to penetrate the line, and whether that's through the forwards and then move it out the backs by sucking in the Scottish defence. I think that's where they were strong last week.
Ireland.
Straight out the tunnel.
Referee
is
going to give Scotland a
let it come in,
reprieve.
straight out the tunnel.
Really powerful scrum from Ireland there. You know, they were all driving together, going straight, that all the momentum was going forward, and Scotland were under a huge amount of pressure.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Second time of asking, and Conkle won't get to it on this occasion, and it's come around in Ireland after all the pressure of the first half, get their first real reward at scrum time, winning the penalty. High fives all around.
Really good scrum again. That's 2 in a row. They've been really powerful. Scotland have no answer to it. They've been going backwards all day, but those last 2 scrums were particularly good, but all 8 driving together.
And Briggs finds it into touch, and Ireland will have the throw into the line out. Here it is.
There you go, thank you.
Good question again, Lindsay Pete, at that angle. The referees on the other side didn't see it. It's up to the AOR to be reading those things. She's driving in at a slight angle, and she needs to just square up her hips just not to give away a penalty.
Leah Lyons, and somehow it's back on the Irish side through Fitzsimons, was paying attention as it bounced around a little. Nupu, handling error again, I'm afraid, knocked forward. And, well, the pass wasn't sympathetic on that occasion, so
ball's lifted for me, so no offside.
To figure that into the criticism, but Nupu, who was so impressive against Wales a fortnight ago, indeed scoring a try, and just had a couple of minutes which she's made some errors you don't expect from a woman of her calibre.
It was slightly low, but it was definitely catchable, and you know, we saw them improve last week on those handling errors from the Italy game where they were quite bad. To see them seeping in again is a worry, and I just wonder if they're asking questions of themselves mentally because they haven't had much ball.
Bind! Stand up.
Well, no question, the wind has got up in the last 10 minutes and the temperature has dropped considerably.
So we still need space between the bind and set, please. We're not going to continue with no space. There's your mark.
The referee
Let's hold our space
to the front rows, and that wind is behind Scottish backs in the opening.
Don't crowd.
35 minutes, but really it's only been a factor for the last 4 or 5.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Scrum needs to steady. Now Ireland can get the shove on, and Conkle gets the ball, but she gets 2 Irish players, Malloy and Hughes as well.
Leave it, Ireland!
And Ireland told to leave it alone. I don't know how Jade Conkle has managed to do that, but huge credit to her because the odds were stacked against her being able to hold on to possession. Scotland have possession, and it's there for law. And Ireland up to make the tackle through Malloy.
She's trapped in, she's trapped, she's working. Thanks, good work. Thank you, good work.
Little chip over the top from Martin Fitzhenry, doesn't claim it. And she's hit, I have to say, without the ball, but Scotland have the ball.
No.
And it's there for law. And now Thompson, big tackles. Megan Williams done really well again. And Williams battles and fights her way despite being taken off the ground by Nelson. And Williams, well, if Conkle deserves credit, Williams does as well. And those soft hands from Leah Lyons shuffle the ball on. There's a bit of a physical edge in the last couple of minutes as Briggs looks to try and find a way through, but she's stopped in her tracks, and Scotland on the wrong side through McCormack, and she slows the ball up. Referee not interested. Maloney, another good line, not the first one she's run in this first half. Ireland a little slow to get to her, but did well to hold on to possession. Now it's McDermott, and again Scotland this time off their feet at the breakdown. Referee happy to let that one go. Briggs to Williams, and Williams has got the dander up as the winger, and into the 22 it goes, and Megan Williams super cameo in the last 60 seconds. The young woman winning her 4th international cap, plays for Old Belvedere, born in England, but very much to the forefront of all Ireland have done in the last minute or so. She led the way.
Time off.
We need Megan coming into the game more. We need her coming off her line. She has pace when she gets going. Here we see her clever idea to kick. The space is in behind. We haven't seen Ireland use the kick an awful lot, and she chases well. prior to that, we saw a brilliant line by Cliona Maloney. She was a little bit isolated, but Ireland cleaned up and got the ball out into that space.
There'll be a short delay, a couple of bangs and bruises on both sides. Scottish players, two of them receiving attention. One of them, Siobhan McMillan, is the prop forward, and Jade Conkle as well. That's Conkle.
Yeah, at the start of the Six Nations, they had Conkle playing prop. She played in some of the November matches as well as prop, but her best position is the back row. She's gets go forward ball, and how she's getting the ball out of that scrum, sometimes I just don't know.
How many, please?
And she really does give go forward ball every time.
How many? 5. Time on. 5. Okay,
Scottish line out just inside their 22, and if my memory serves me correctly, it may be the first time Ireland have found their way just inside the Scottish 22 in this opening 37.5 minutes. Scottish line out has struggled at times, doesn't on that occasion, and they get clean ball and then quickly to a maul, and they head towards the 10-metre line, and that's a really good execution under a bit of pressure from the Scottish line out. And maul, it's with Conkle at the back, and it's Law who's looking to take it, but Ireland get in amongst them and do it legally, and now where's it off to? It's there for Conkle. Malloy has her hands on it. She was disruptor in chief, but Scotland have sorted it out on their 10-metre line, and they retain possession. And around the corner goes Conkle, and Griffin is there, and Fitzpatrick does the rip work, and it's there for Ireland to turn defence into attack, and Maloney lines up Nelson, and it's there for Ailsa Hughes, and now Niamh Briggs, and Nuku will let it go, and Fitzhenry and Flood has Hannah Tyrrell, and Tyrrell steps inside one, goes to ground and heads towards the Irish 22. Here's McDermott with Fitzsimons on her shoulder, Lindsay Peat there as well. Ireland looking for something before the break, 90 seconds to go to that break. Esene Nupu sets it up for Ailsa Hughes and Lindsay Peat. Finally some play from Ireland that has the crowd engaged as Griffin is knocked backwards by Kennedy in the tackle. Now Briggs, Maloney, who's probably been Ireland's best player in the first half. Fitzhenry, that was knocked backwards. Fitzsimons, Nupu, Briggs, Williams steps back inside. Megan Williams still has ball in hand. Maloney looked like she might have been ahead of her, but Williams still has, and Ireland are still in possession. Malloy wrapped up by Kennedy, but still gets a yard more. Hughes, Peat, Lindsay Peat, dragged down by Thompson. Griffin there, Hughes there, narrow side is where Ireland will go. Briggs, little show, little go, and maybe just tried to force it with the line in sight, but Ireland knock it forward. And Scotland breathe a mighty sigh of relief, and Conkle will pick, and surely they'll just see out the last 10 seconds, bang this into touch and take their 3-point lead to the break.
But that's holding on, you all right to the ball.
The most exhilarating passage of play from Ireland in the opening half.
That was an exciting couple of minutes. It had everything. It started with a Scottish maul. Ireland turned over the ball to Paula Fitzpatrick, and Ireland went through the phase. There was everything. There was offloading. It's a really strong running line from Cliona Maloney again, and then going through the phases, and then that knock on Niamh Briggs trying to force it. Here's the rip from Paula Fitzpatrick.
And that's where Ireland turned the ball over, and some good handling there with Flood, Tyrrell involved. Patrick again, Nupu, good hands on this occasion, and Megan Williams did well to step back inside, but all in the end coming to Nouch as knock it forward there, and the scrum is to Scotland, and this should be in, out and touch and changing room, but the Irish scrum has been so good. There might be an opportunity to attack this Scottish scrum and turn ball over for one last go before the break. The 8 go in search. Conkle, though, will find her winger Musgrove, and that will bring the first half to a close. A first half that has been, in truth, scrappy from both sides at times, but the team that has made the fewer mistakes, that is Scotland, are the team that rightly lead at the break. The half-time score at Donnybrook, it's the narrowest of margins. Ireland 0, Scotland 3.
the Scottish team taking a half-time break. We're now delighted to be joined by our under-15 teams, one from each of the four provinces. From Ulster, we have Clonakilty. From Munster, a combined team of Youghal and Livingston. Portlaoise from Leinster, and Fairmont from Connacht. So please give them all your support, ladies and gentlemen. And indeed, we have a supporter from Dublin whose birthday is today. Julie Williamson Elias, who's here with the girls from Dublin Rugby Football Club. Ladies and gentlemen, just a date for your diaries after the great success of last year's summer city. Today's Ian Laskus, Isabel Cooley, and Robert Johnson. The top 29,
Yeah. Advantage. No problem. Yeah. Advantage. No problem. Advantage. No problem. 22. Twenty-two. 22. No, no! Off the green. Off the green. advantage. Knock on. Not out, no. Knock on advantage. Advantage. Knock on. Not out, no. Knock on advantage. Use it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. We're looking at our first team on production this afternoon.
And send him home.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to our under 15 young players. From Dublin, Young Middleton, Portage and Clare Arts. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have our teams for round of production. Please welcome Ireland, Craig Wicker. representing the team from Scotland, led by their captain, Lisa Martin.
So then, the message from the Irish management team should have been control, control, and then control.
Pretty much. I don't think there was much more than that, and that's why Ireland were out first. There's not many things that he had to say. It was look after that ball. When you have it, respect it. When you don't have it, go and get it. And you know, Ireland haven't done that. As Lynn said, they've only got 7 phases and have no score. So it's been disappointing so far where they've come from last week. There was a huge improvement last week in their performance and their basic skills, and it's dropped again this week.
Well, news coming through as we wait for the second half to be ready to get underway. News coming through of something of a surprise result based on prior form and prior performance, as Italy have beaten Wales in Wales by 22 points to 15, and that was greeted by Fiona and other former internationals around the journalist box this afternoon with a bit of delight, because that's good for the competition, Fiona.
It's brilliant for the competition that everyone's capable of beating each other, and particularly at that level. Italy have been improving, and we've seen glimpses of what they're capable of. They've really good players, but to go to Wales, it's a tough place, and the first time the Welsh women get to play in the Millennium Stadium, which was a huge thing as well, and it's brilliant for Italian rugby.
Just a bit of a delay here as the referee and touch judges have a little look, waiting for President Michael D. Higgins to make his way back to his seat as the players ready themselves. He's shifting a bit, in fairness. Warmly greeted as he makes his way along the sideline. He makes his way to the bench. A smile from referee in Tempest, and we're just about set to go at the start of the second half. The view across the pitch from Leah Lyons, Ireland's number 3. And she waits on, and it'll be Scotland who get us underway. They will be pleased with their first half performance by and large, although you feel that with the possession territory that they had, they would have wanted more than 3 points. And now we're good to go.
Time on.
2 changes for Scotland. Numbers 21, Jenny Maxwell, and 20, Louise McMillan. There she is in the foreground. Into the game. We'll confirm who's out in a moment. Number 6 doesn't look like she's there, Sarah Bonner. Scotland go on the attack. So McMillan in, Bonner gone. McMillan
tackle!
Along with her sister playing prop forward. Here she is, the substitute. Louise McMillan plays her club rugby at Hillhead in Glasgow. Conkle offloads to second row Wassell. And Scotland have the ball once more. Kennedy runs a straight line. Ailsa Hughes brings her down. Scotland have the ball through Raleigh.
Off Ireland head.
And it's on to Musgrove. And Scotland inside the Irish 22. And that's good work. And the 2 substitutes have had a lot to do with that, as Maxwell feeds her outside half. And Scotland have sucked Ireland in defensively. And Megan Williams and Sene Nupu need to get out wide. And Scotland come back inside to Conkle when maybe the ball should have gone wide. Up comes Nupu to make the tackle. Big tackle made, and Williams as well.
No.
There for Maxwell. Loughborough University student, or Loughborough women's rugby, I should say, player. Kennedy sets it up. Maxwell again. Scotland owning the ball for the opening 2 minutes of this second half. Can they get points? The ball out wide, over the line, try scored. Nelson finishes a really impressive opening 2 minutes to this second half for Scotland. and they finally get the try that their play deserves.
Talk about coming out with a bang. They were really hard running, really direct through Macmillan. Here we see Raleigh forced a little bit, went off Hannah Tyrrell's head. Musgrove taking it on strong right into Ireland. They recycled again. We see Conkle back on the inside ball, big strong carry, good presentation, and then the ball moves out. Maxwell out there we see, and Nelson backs herself. Lindsay Peake really doesn't have a chance to get her hands on her, and there she is finishing. Brilliant try, brilliant sustained pressure by Scotland.
Yeah, really good play. Nelson the finisher, but Maxwell the scrum half at the centre of everything there. She was, well, she's come into the game and hit the tempo absolutely bang on and forced Scotland on, and they get their reward. Nelson, the try scorer, is now Nelson attempting to add the extra 2 from well out, and that one's not going to make it, so it will be 8-0, 3 minutes into this second half. Scotland out and continue where they left off in terms of possession and territory, but crucially from their perspective they have points to show for it, and it's 8-0, and Ireland have a bit of a hill to climb. Briggs restarts, and that one will find its way into touch, and the throw into the line out will be to the team in Navy. Wind at the backs of the Irish players, the wind that there is, which has been up and down through the opening 40 minutes.
Ireland, keep the
blowing
gap.
a bit at the moment.
Stefan, you're good where you are.
Help the throwing in of Lara Skeldon. She'll have to adjust for it. Will they stay short because of that wind? They do go towards the front of the line out, and it's taken by McCormick. And they go to the maul.
7, don't
there's
change!
A real belief about this Scottish performance.
It.
There's a sense that they can take a scalp, and this would be a significant scalp for Scottish rugby if they could find a way of beating Ireland, particularly away from home.
10 high tackle.
Yeah. The last 11 games that they've played since it became the Six Nations since 2007 with Italy in it, Ireland have won the 11 games. You know, it was a tight performance last year, but Ireland have won all the previous games quite well.
5
and you know, to come
please.
here
Change, 5.
would be huge for Scottish rugby.
Change for Ireland as out comes Orla Fitzsimons, and in goes Ashley Baxter. And Ashley Baxter,
2 meters.
well, she started her life as an international winger, Cook and Ulster winger, and then wing forward, and now, well, she'll hardly go into the second row. It'll be Paula Fitzpatrick that goes into the second row, and Ashley Baxter, Griffin and Malloy will make up the back row as Niamh Briggs makes the tackle in midfield. And Baxter, who is a very abrasive player, sevens player as well. Leah Lyons goes to try and make the tackle, but didn't get a hand on Nelson, and Nelson feeds Musgrove, and Musgrove is well tackled. Sene Naupu, try-saving tackle right out of the top drawer.
It's okay. It's
And
okay.
as she hurt herself in the process, well, it was everything
line,
from
please.
Naupu as Musgrove pinned the ears back and she was gone. Nelson, creator, Drew Tyrrell, and then Musgrove, and well, that was everything from Naupu, and it had to be.
Brilliant tackle by Naupu and forcing Musgrove into touch, but brilliant vision by
Let's go,
Nelson. She
please.
saw the mismatch between herself and Leah Lyons. She took
Time
her
off.
on the outside, then drew Hannah Tyrrell and offloaded lovely to Musgrove, who had a bit of space.
Thought she was off.
Yeah, just going back to Ashley Baxter, she hasn't played a game of 15s rugby since the World Cup.
Yeah.
Been away at the sevens. You know, she'll come into the game having not trained. I don't know if she's trained with them because of the snow last
Time on,
weekend and things
Stefano,
like that. So
please.
it's a tough ask of the player, but she is a quality
meters,
player.
please.
Just hasn't played an awful lot in
Keep
the
going.
back row either.
Nice.
Well, Naupu's okay. And Ireland
Backwards.
just about hold on to possession. They needed something to spark them. Surely that try has done it. Surely they didn't need it, but they've got to find a way into this game. Here's Ashley Baxter, the ball
Come back,
carrier.
guys,
Referee's
roll
going to
away.
come back and offer
Get out of
Ireland
there.
the penalty for infringement of the breakdown, not rolling away
Roll away.
against Scotland. Spriggs
Second quality air ball.
will dispatch down the line. Here's where the
Okay, thank you.
infringement came.
Hold the gap.
Against
Maintain space, please.
Kennedy, I think. prop forward wearing 3, and not rolling away.
2 meters.
Lyons finds Malloy. And Griffin and Ireland go to a maul that we haven't seen much of, but it's a good start to that effort. It's with Malloy at the back, and in it's McDermott also. Malloy needs to not get ahead of
Advantage at the
her
start.
players, and Scotland in at the side. That's huge advantage for Ireland. Need Briggs, free play, cross field she goes. Back there is Chloe Riley, who adjusted well.
20 up the side.
And we'll come back for the penalty against the substitute Louise McMillan. But that good work from Ireland, clean line out, and that's what we were talking about. Control, control, control.
Side entry number 20.
Clean, and when you do that, you get this sort of opportunity.
It was a simple line out to Claire Malloy, quick up at 2. Scotland didn't have a chance to get up, and then a really good formed maul, which we haven't seen Ireland do at all. And we saw that Scotland were vulnerable against other countries with their defence of the maul, and now Ireland are in a brilliant attacking position. Best position I think they've been in this game, and you know that maul has just proved that what they can do with it, so it'll be good to see more of that now in this attacking position.
Well, Niamh Briggs got every last inch out of that line, or out of that penalty, to claim this throw into the line out. She was lucky in some ways, the Scottish players. She found the grass between them and the line, and that gave the put into this line out. And away Ireland go! Griffin! Is she there? They're over the line! Referee says, held up. Held up. We'll go for the scrum.
Again, a really simple line out, up to Claire Malloy, down in the maul. I question why Ciara Griffin took that ball out of the maul. We'll see it here again. Malloy goes up, secures possession, forms, it's going, and she takes it off the side. I would have liked to see them sheer off the side of the maul as opposed to actually go as an individual.
Credit Jenny Maxwell, the scrum half, the substitute scrum half, who found a way. That is she on the left with her hands on her hips. She managed a way of getting in under Griffin and holding her up.
Okay, that's fine for me. Crouch!
Well, such has been the dominance of the Irish scrum in the 49 minutes to date that you have a sense you know what's coming here. The feed from Ailsa Hughes. Griffin plays at 8. Ashley Baxter on her left, Malloy on her right. The scrum moves forward. Griffin controls. It's super control from the captain. Try given. Penalty try given. And Ireland have their opening score. And you can see just what that means to the women in green. Scotland had no answer. There's a little bit down there between Conkle and Briggs. The Scots, well, they wanted to get on with it quickly. Rightly, Briggs held on to the ball until everybody was settled down.
Yeah.
Try for Ireland, 7, of course, with the penalty try, and it brings it to a 1-point game.
Unbelievable scrum dominance there for Ireland, and the control of Ciara Griffin. If the penalty try wasn't awarded, she was definitely going over that they were going so well. We spoke about the importance of set piece. That came from 2 really strong lineouts, got Ireland into a really good position, and then a really powerful scrum.
Yeah, knock on, and Baxter picks and goes, and well, you talk about the momentum in matches. It's there for Ireland now, and you can see where the spring in step is. And we'll go back for the knock forward from the restart from Scotland. So Ireland will get the throw or the put into the scrum, and here's the penalty try.
Really good, powerful scrum. Ireland are all driving together, driving forward. There's real good control there by Griffin. Ailsa Hughes is just keeping the ball in, not taking out. She knows what's coming, and regardless, we would have gone over there for the try, and it is a penalty try to Ireland under the post. No need for the conversion.
Yeah, Griffin really well controlled. Remember, flanker playing number 8, and that's not an easy thing to do. And the fans watched and wondered, and the referee gave them the answer, and you can see what it means to Ireland's captain, Ciara Griffin.
And that's even with Paula Fitz going into the second row, you know, and that just shows the process. Go through the process, have every player on the same page, and that's what they can produce.
A little bit of attention for Ireland's hooker, Cliona Maloney.
Okay, thank you. Time on, please. Scrum, knock on blue. Here you go.
Just over 2,000 people in attendance at Donnybrook this afternoon. 2,063 the official figure.
Yeah, like it's a good
Crouch.
attendance and brilliant support out here, but when you look at the French game last night where they had 17,000 people down in Grenoble,
Set.
or even the club game against Harlequins in Richmond yesterday in the Stoop had over 4,000 people there.
Griffin
Line, okay.
at the back of that scrum. Now Briggs and Nupu. And a good line from Fitzhenry. Katie Fitzhenry, open country. Scotland scampering to get there. Pass is kind of flung out in hope rather than in direction, but Hannah Tyrrell gathers. Terrific line from Fitzhenry. May well have been better just to hold on to the ball, but Ireland still have it. Here's Malloy and Griffin. And the back row forwards leading the way once again. Ireland's captain goes to ground. Ailsa Hughes goes looking for it and eventually finds it. Here's Maloney back to full fitness. Baxter has had a huge impact since she's come into the game. It's there now for Lindsay Peat. Knows only one way. The head goes down, the power comes on, and Ireland have the ball. Options both ways. Briggs goes right. Nupu, that was behind her. Not much she could do. Ireland dive on the ball. I think it's Fitzhenry who's gathered it again. Scotland down for 14 at the moment. One of their players receiving attention. Leah Lyons runs over Macmillan, who's taken a bang, and Ireland get the penalty. Scotland off their feet. Macmillan in a bit of trouble.
Time off, please, medic. Head injury here. 5 clearly off.
Here we see it again off a powerful scrum. The wrap around there, Nupu, and it looked like Briggsy was getting the ball, but Katie Fitzhenry on a brilliant line. She should have kept that ball. There was no support there with her. They weren't up with her. I know she saw the space out there, but she should have kept that ball, set up a quick ruck, and then looked to move the ball.
And
sorry. Make sure the penalties don't start adding up against you guys.
Referee's just having a quick word with the Scottish captain, Lisa Martin, the outside half, just warning her about the number of penalties that have been given away.
Okay, to watch the breakdown. If they are flapping and we find her.
Can I just clarify something for you?
Yes, we shall.
Over there, Scotland clearly end up on the wrong side.
Yes.
It's your man has an extra role in terms of the presentation of the ball, so you're not going to get those penalties off.
I understand completely. It's just if they flap.
Okay, that's fine. I'll look at that. What I'm saying is that one over there for me.
Oh no. Oh yeah, that's fine. I'm just
Thanks. Okay, cheers. This one you got the penalty though for our feet, so I can't do much more.
One of the sport's great sideshows, captains and referees, respectfully, you know what's going on underneath those relationships. Here's the tackle from Macmillan on Leah Lyons, and the Scottish prop still receiving attention.
Yeah, she just had her head on the wrong side of the tackle there. She doesn't look to be in too much discomfort at the moment, but she was down for quite a while before the penalty was given against Scotland. Yeah, like the referee's right. He has just penalised Scotland for not rolling away, for flopping on the ball, and I suppose it is Ciara's job to keep just reminding him and keeping that seed of thought in his mind. But he has spoken to Scotland as well about the number of penalties and not to let them rack up, and where he will go if they do continue to rack up.
Tim,
good to see Macmillan back on her feet.
One is coming off. Number 1. One blue, please, change. One
blue
change.
Is Siobhan Macmillan, and she is being called ashore, and in her place will come Lindsay Smith.
It's just back here for me, please. Sorry, I know you're not trying to finish yours. There you go. Okay.
So Smith in, and Briggs with an opportunity to get Ireland up close to the Scottish 22, which she does indeed inside the 22. And in the opening 12 minutes, Ireland have played more. Opening 12 minutes in the second half, they've played more times inside the Scottish 22 than they did in the entire first half. Malloy at the front of the line-out. Ireland look to go to the maul again, but Scotland quickly close off the first opportunity. Maloney has it now, and Lyons on her shoulder. And Baxter, who I have to say has made a real impression. And Scotland pull the ball down, and there's going to be a word now, and I think it'll be an official warning.
Clear maul, 5 comes in, plays legs. Same message as them now. Next one goes to the bin. Okay?
He's consistent. It's exactly what he did with Ireland in the first half. Had a word,
5,
then an
legs,
official warning. If they do it again, well, they'll only have themselves to blame, and Briggs looks to turn the screw a little.
Yeah, his communication has been really good throughout
Line play,
at the breakdown, no play. Here we see it. Deb McCormick lifts that leg of the player in the maul.
So then, Leah Lyons and the Irish line-out. Claire Malloy at the front. You know they're going to go to the maul. Well, they attempt to do it, but Scotland did well, and Griffin turns to try and present the ball. It's the substitute who's on the wrong side.
One who's trapped her in.
It's there for Maloney. Maloney with Baxter on her shoulder. Ireland not even a metre short. Ailsa Hughes, Paula Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick puts the head down. Scotland get underneath her and knock her backwards. Ireland again held up short.
No
Ailsa Hughes, Leah Lyons needs to sort it out. Lyons picks and goes, and she's held inches short. Hughes once more. Lindsay Peat drives the legs. Scotland's underneath her, but is the ball grounded? No, says the referee.
Initially short.
And back will go. Initially short, he says. And back will go for the scrum. Terrific defence, scramble defence from Scotland. And Peat, well, she can't believe it, but the referee was clear in his mind that she was held up short.
Initially short. No. Stop it. Scrum.
It would be foolish to start arguing the referee. Ireland are on the ascendancy here. They have a scrum, a powerful scrum, but it came from two really short, quick line-outs, straight to Claire Malloy. Brilliant hits by Cleena Maloney. Brilliant pick and goes, and again, Maloney was involved twice on those short runners.
Bind! Set! Middle.
Feed from Hughes. Griffin did well again to control at the back of the scrum. The crowd shout, heave, Lyons leads from the front. Griffin controls again. Captain eventually picks and goes. Baxter on her shoulder, over the line.
That's held up.
Held up again.
Standing up.
But the penalty is what Ireland will get. Held up, but the penalty for Scotland standing up in the front row.
It was up too early to think of anything else, okay? Okay, scrum.
Griffin says we'll have another scrum, thank you.
Wise decision. It's definitely their go-to thing. I know Scotland stood up. It would be brilliant if Leah Lyons could just drop the height a little bit, because she's been popped as well. I think if she can stay down, they will just drive over.
One of the Scottish players in behind that huddle, receiving some attention.
But she comes out.
Well, if the crowd were a little muted in the first half, they've found their voice in the second half. The 2,000 or so that are here.
Keep it like that for me. That's really good. Okay. Time on. Scrum on the 5, please. Can't get it closer.
So we'll go again over on the far side. 5 metre scrum.
Okay, that's fine.
Ireland's put in. Griffin takes a deep breath and
Bind!
takes her place at the
Set!
back, anchoring that scrum, wearing 6, playing at 8. And Ailsa Hughes feeds, and Ireland get that forward momentum again. And up come the front rows once more, and the referee says penalty again.
Time off.
And you know they're going to get a final warning on this one as well, which will be, you feel, do it again.
Now on a
and it'll be
warning,
penalty
scrum
try.
time, next penalty in this area of the park, someone leaves the field, okay? Not staying square. Penalty.
So tough on a retreating pack.
Scrum called.
What options do they have?
Ireland are just way too
the
powerful
scrum is
for them.
gone.
You know, they're not particularly lower than them, but they're way too powerful. And Ireland are working as an 8. They're all driving, all the pressure is going the same way, and there's not an awful lot you can do. They're going. If Ireland continue like this, they're going to lose. Scotland are going to lose a player and be down points.
Yes, it feels like there's a certain inevitability about this from Scotland's perspective. Ailsa Hughes feeds for Ireland. Again, the 8 move forward. Scotland crumble. Advantage being played, and we're going to have a yellow card.
All up easy. No, it doesn't have to be, because you haven't got moving forward. 3, you go to the bin.
3 goes to the bin. That's Megan Kennedy, who, well, you feel the referee could have gone either side. It's Kennedy who he picks out.
Come again. Do we need someone on?
There's going to have to be
time off, please. We'll need someone on.
Substitution, because with a prop in the bin, someone's going to have to be sacrificed, so a prop can come in and we can have
play.
Another
time
scrum.
back on, please. Scrum.
Here we see Ireland just have them everywhere. The prop Kennedy there, she's twisted, she's going backwards, she has no other options, she has to go to her
the
knees.
contest, we don't go back to 0.
There we see Scotland getting underneath the ball on the previous scrum and carries, and what Lindsay Peets, she's over the line. I just question whether there's a Scottish hand underneath it.
Well, the referee is not waiting for another prop to come in because Scotland have sorted it out themselves. Is it Conkle that's gone in?
Yeah, Conkle's back there.
Yeah, Conkle's in on that far side. She'll prop against Leah Lyons. So the number 8, who has played prop before, into the front row for Scotland.
Been really good here. Crouch! Bind! Set!
Again, Ireland, well, Scotland have done well. They've stopped the first surge. And it's there for Ailsa Hughes, and Conkle has had a huge impact on that scrum. Here's Briggs, Fitzhenry, Megan Williams is there, so too is Flood. Flood for Tyrrell, Tyrrell has work to do, steps inside one, Tyrrell almost away to Megan Williams. And it's mopped up by Musgrove. And Scotland, remarkably, have turned the ball over and breathed again. 15 against 14, squeezed over on that far side. Had their line crossed, but the ball wasn't grounded, but still they will face more. Having turned it over,
good steal.
Griffin at that breakdown, credited by the referee as making a good steal. Scotland penalised, and Ireland with the penalty. And Ireland's captain is in some distress.
Yeah, she put her body on the line for that one, and deservedly won a penalty in a really good position. That's going to put Ireland, I would imagine they go for the line out here. But prior to that, Jake Conkle in that scrum to go down and hold the scrum that was going backwards at a rate of knots when they had 8, they had 7, and she shored up that scrum. Then there was a bad pass from Katie Fitzhenry out to Hannah Tyrrell. It was behind her. Scotland forced the turnover and then just gave it back through brilliant work by Ciara Griffin back to Ireland.
Yeah, this was the backline move. Fine from Flood to Hannah Tyrrell was really the problem. Tyrrell had to go back to receive the ball and then try to offload to Williams. That's where Scotland won it back, but that woman, Ciara Griffin, at the ensuing breakdown did a terrific job. And well, it's hard enough to get any international player off a pitch, but a captain.
She's staying, guys? She's staying?
And Griffin, she's made of hard stuff, you know, you see it in the way she plays, the way she trains.
Line, please. Scotland on the line.
It's an elbow, she won't think she'll need her elbow too much.
Time on.
Leah Lyons and the Irish line out. Briggs found it 5 metres away. Malloy claims possession. Scotland do well the first surge. Set up though for Ailsa Hughes, and Ireland once more. Leah Lyons at pace. Not easy to stop, but Scotland do well. Smith, the diminutive Smith, one of those to get there. Lindsay Peace. Scotland again scramble defence, this time from Nelson. Ireland keep knocking at the door. Briggs knocks it forward, then Scotland knock it forward.
Knock on.
And Ireland still haven't found a way through. We hit the hour mark, and you have to give credit to this spirited Scottish defensive effort. Yes, Ireland are butchering the opportunities, but Scotland are just throwing bodies at anything that moves.
Here we see the line out from Ireland. 14. Scotland didn't go in, and then they hit it, and then here we see this huge hit by Jay Conkle, pushing, and Lisa Martin pushing Leah Lyons back. And again, Niamh Briggs decides to go herself. Good hit by Thompson there that forces the knock on.
Thank you.
Megan Williams is being called out by Annan Briggs, and in her place is that woman, Louise Galvin, another back from the 7th Circuit, and she'll take her place out on that right wing. Good shift, it has to be said, from Megan Williams.
Set.
Good scrum once more from Ireland. Ailsa Hughes picks Griffin. Ball is popped, but it's popped to Rolly, and Rolly is away, and she stands him up. And Flood was left flat-footed, and Hannah Tyrrell's going in chase. Rolly and Tyrrell, Rolly and Tyrrell. Rolly gets there. And try is given. Well, what about that? From one end to the other. Chloe Rolly runs the length of the pitch, and Scotland go from nowhere to another 5, maybe 7.
It was all from this scrum, a powerful Irish scrum. Ciara looks to force that ball out to Nupu, and Rolly, she just gets the intercept, she backs herself, she burns Kim Flood, but great tracking back by Hannah Tyrrell, who really puts the gas on. You can see Hannah coming in out of the picture here on the right-hand side, really pushing, looking for that tackle, and luckily Rolly just gets there just for Scotland. Great work by Tyrrell though, but Rolly really backed herself.
And she did ground the ball, no
Don't
question.
necessarily agree, but yeah, okay, thank you.
Spirited effort from Hannah Tyrrell, who never gave it up. But what about that for a run from Chloe Rolly? The burn she must have felt for the last 10 meters or so. She found a way to get that last couple of yards, and Scotland through their hooker Skeldon will look to add the extra 2. Not often you see a front row forwards taking a conversion attempt, but here it is. On its way, and the cultured right bunch of Scotland's hooker, Lara Skeldon, adds the extra 2. And from a point that Ireland looked like they were going to blow Scotland away physically, and you felt score again and maybe get away, well now they are beyond a 1-score game behind. It's Ireland 7, Scotland 15. We're in the final quarter, and this game is wide open. And remember that try scored 15 against 14 with Scotland with a player in the bin as well.
Release, no!
As the change comes, and in comes Fiona Reedy, and with Reedy in, it's Leah Lyons who's made way.
18 behind the back four.
Maxwell,
Wait, Scotland, forward 20.
Martin and Flood. Louise Galvin, and Galvin has space out wide, and she sees Sene Nupu. Nupu to Fitzhenry, and Fitzhenry's put to ground by Smith. Ireland retained possession, and somehow through Griffin find their way back into Scottish territory. This is wide open now. Really entertaining game. Ailsa Hughes, Claire Malloy, and Ireland guilty again of accuracy and forcing a pass. And that face of Claire Malloy, well, she knows it.
Yeah, here we see the break from Ciara Griffin, pushes off Debs McCormick, powers through, really clever play by her. She looks for the handoff again. Great in by Ashley Baxter to secure that. Really unlike Claire Malloy, she just took her eye off the ball as she was going to catch that then and force the knock on. A little bit over her head, but the standard that Claire Malloy is at, she'd be catching those balls.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Maxwell feeds, and Ireland
Ball out.
get go forward ball, but it's in the arms of Martin, and now Nelson, and Malloy scoots it back on the Irish side, and Griffin picks, and it's been a huge effort from the Irish captain in particular in this second half. You talk about captains leading from the front, well, there is the perfect example of it from Ciara Griffin in this second half in particular. It was Thompson, not Nelson, who had the ball and then spilled it, and Ireland will get the put into this scrum. And there's going to be a change in scrum half for Ireland. In comes Nicole Cronin, and out comes Ailsa Hughes. With a good shift from Hughes, Cronin, an able replacement.
Cronin and Briggsy would train a lot together. You know, they'd have a good understanding of each other, playing with UL Bows. They haven't had that much time together with UL Bows, but they train together every day, so they would have a good understanding with each other.
Set.
Ireland control at the back of the scrum, and it is Nicole Cronin who draws her player, and the pop pass to Galvin just didn't go to hand.
Option, what do you want, blue? Scrum or line? It's not going to touch. Line out cold. Where you are, green, please.
15 minutes, 14 minutes left on the clock.
Thank you.
Scotland lead it 15 points to 7, and you feel this game could still go either way, but Ireland desperately in need of the next score, and quickly.
We see off that scrum, while Scotland's scrum has improved with Conkle in the front row, it was upright by the Irish scrum, and then Griffin out to Cronin and then out to Galvin, who possibly could have caught that ball as well.
Lara Skeldon back to normal hooker service. She finds Emma Wassell, and Scotland go to the maul. Maxwell, that's a poor pass from the scrum half, but it pops up and into the arms of Thompson, who presents the ball for Maxwell once again. It's a big run from Conkle. Tackle came in, Griffin goes after it, but is told to leave it by the referee, which she does. Wassell picks and goes, and Ireland strong defensively around the fringes. I think that was Niamh Briggs on that occasion. Maxwell held on to, big hit from the substitute Feely, or Reedy I should say. Change coming for Scotland in a moment. We'll tell you about that.
Forward.
Cronin.
Okay, advantage.
Cronin keeps the ball in play. Lovely little darting roll for Cronin. McDermott, no look pass into Scottish arms.
Cross forward by blue, no advantage.
The
Scrum
knock
green.
forward.
Okay, send it on, thank you. Time off.
And change for Scotland. Jodie Retty into the game. And change for Ireland also. In comes number 22, Michelle Claffey.
Thanks,
which means Briggs will go. Nupu will go to outside half.
Let's go.
Yeah, Nupu offers a different option at outside half. She's more of a running 10 than Niamh would, and will tack the line maybe a little bit more to bring the backs into it slightly more.
Fine. Set.
Feed from Cronin. Griffin controls it at the back and it leaves it to the scrum half. Nupu. Claffey, Nupu, lovely hands. Flood straightens the line. Hannah Tyrrell runs onto it. And Tyrrell held up about 7 meters short. Players arrive to secure possession. Scotland throw bodies in. Where's the ball? It's there still for Cronin and Griffin and Baxter on her shoulder. And Malloy goes in search, and it's set up for Ireland again. Here's Cronin. Nupu around the first tackler. Scotland offside, advantage being played. Free play for Ireland. Malloy uses the feet, tries a bit of power. Support is there. Ireland 5 meters short. Cronin.
Okay, thank
Scotland blast a couple of players off the ball. It's there for Malloy. Malloy, low centre of gravity.
Still got the
gets
advantage.
a leader, maybe two. Cronin took her eye off it for a moment. Now she has it. Now Nupu back into Lindsay Pease. Was that forward? No, says the referee. Baxter secures possession. Should still be there for Ireland. Blast away, and over they go. And it's Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick is over. But the referee wants to check.
Question is, any reason I cannot award a try, please? I just want to look at the previous breakdown. I'm on a penalty advantage for offside if it's not.
Penalty advantage to Ireland if the try isn't agreed by Stefano Penne. And we will have a look, but that pace and accuracy from Ireland, it's been hit and miss for large periods of this game.
Yes,
up till now, in this passage of play, it's been really impressive. And have they the reward on that evidence? Yes.
Yeah, again, this all came off a great attack.
I have seen enough from that.
Referee.
For me, no. Have you seen the breakdown you did to look at?
I have seen the breakdown. I see nothing clear and obvious to disallow the try.
Correct. You may award the try.
Okay, thank you. Try is awarded.
Try given.
Just awards for Ireland. They came off a great attack and scrum. They went out the back line over to this far wing with hand here. Then used the forwards, Maloney, Pete, Paula Fitzpatrick, kicking and going and scoring a well-deserved try.
And Kim Flood will take over the duties with Briggs off the field. Flood, who scored 2 conversions against Wales, does not add the extra 2 there. That's a bad miss from Kim Flood. She knows it. So Ireland 12, Scotland 15, 11 minutes left on the clock. We're back to 15 against 15.
She's on her way.
And this game on an absolute knife edge.
There we just saw a really good backline attack with the wraparound pass from Zeni Nupu, and then the ball inside from Sene to Lindsay Peat.
Time on, please.
Good clearance by Ashley Baxter. She went off her feet, worked hard to get back on her feet, and a strong, powerful drive by Paula Fitzpatrick.
Lisa Thompson with the restart, and that one
taking touch. Okay.
In touch
Gap,
over
please.
on the far side. Irish player
On you,
gathering
thanks.
it, foot in touch, and throw into the line. That will be to Scotland. Change as Harris comes in and Nelson goes in the back line for Scotland. And will change on both sides now. Skeldon finds Wassell, and Scotland get the ball in hand. They haven't had much since, well, what, 5 minutes into the second half, and the ball is sticking with them as it did for most of the first 40, but since then it's been very quiet for Scotland. Ball in hand, but they're about to change that as Thompson runs a terrific line, latches onto the pass. Cronin helped to make the tackle. Scotland back with ball in hand. Wassell looks to straighten the line. Griffin makes the tackle and then goes after the ball.
Six, leave it now.
And the referee says,
Good
leave it
competition.
alone, Ciara, and Maxwell will continue. Good pass, and the ball, well, it'll be called back. They'll be called back. It's the substitute
Yeah,
Harris.
thanks, mate. Good call, Ad, as well.
But the referee is going to
Nudge the
offer the
forward.
scrum to
Scrum.
Ireland, and a mighty sigh of relief goes around Donnybrook Stadium.
Good play by Scotland. You know, they're looking to take it up. We saw Conkle again carrying hard, then the ball going back. Thompson looking to move the ball quickly.
Here's that misconversion from Kim Flood. She almost, you can see she knew it. It was almost like she took a pitching wedge to it rather than using the full driver, which she normally does, and it, well,
Crouch.
the result is 2 points missing. It's a 3-point game rather than a 1-point game. Cronin and Ireland start with the scrum on their 22. The captain picks and tries to hand off Maxwell. She does well enough and sets the ball up again, and Cronin will feed Nupu. And Scotland are very narrow in defence, and Fitzhenry feeds Flood, and Flood feeds Tyrrell, and Tyrrell has a little look on the outside, goes to ground. Scotland through Thompson and others get numbers there, and Cronin feeds Lindsay Peat, who ships it on to Reedy, who did really well to hold on to the ball. Fitzpatrick, Malloy,
Release! No.
Baxter do the clean out work. Scotland again making a nuisance of themselves. They feel they can turn it over. Nicole Cronin's having none of it, gets her hand on the ball, feeds Maloney. Maloney does the dirty work and sets Ireland up again. Springy little pass again from Cronin. She's a busy bee at the base of that breakdown.
Stop!
Maloney told to stop. She does in chase of the kick from Nupu. So a little chip on, and Galvin gathers. Helter-skelter from both sides. Maloney, she's been terrific for Ireland this afternoon. Inside the final 8 minutes, will she be on the winning or losing side? A draw is a possibility as well, of course. Nupu, that's a poor kick down the throat of Lisa Martin, who returns with interest. And Nupu is the one who has to go off and chase, and Ireland will start 7 metres back. Sene Nupu. That was a basic self-inflicted error.
Brilliant by Martin to see the space there, kick down. Ireland thought they'd have cleared up, and then just forcing that pass, and Nicole Cronin taking her eye off it and looking to see where it was going next. But we really should be just clearing our line straight off when it's down that 22, not allowing Scotland the time to come up and put pressure on us.
I think that's the point that Nicole Cronin was making, as players on both sides are screaming for oxygen as much as anything else. That has been an intense 10-15 minutes, the ball in play for long periods of time, and it's easy to forget at times like this. You're dealing with amateur athletes who are not training on a full-time basis and are just not got that extra you're so used to seeing week in, week out. Griggs, he'll know that Ireland are still well capable from here, but it's the basic errors at times, forcing it at times, that have got them into this trouble, because they have been the dominant pack and they should be in control of this game. That they're not is down to Scotland's ability to cope with everything that Ireland have thrown at them defensively, and an ability to scramble really, really well. And when the opportunities have been there, they've taken them, and they have had a self-belief about them that we haven't seen from Scotland before. This game
keep the time off, please.
was decided by the tightest of margins in the final minute last year, and you have a sense we're going to the same place in 2018.
Yeah, like Ireland are well capable of coming back in the last 8 minutes. They've showed against the odds, they've gone up and scored a try, and the reason we're in this situation was the breakaway try from one end to the other. So I do think Ireland are capable of it, but they have to quit those unforced errors. They're putting pressure on themselves.
What can Scotland do from here? The scrum has not been their friend, but Maxwell will feed, and at the back they will deal with it, and Maxwell feeds it to wingers and centres, and the scrum half there again, and they're in the middle of the field, and Emma Wassell straightens the line, and Ireland make the tackles, and it's there for Maxwell once again. And Conkle, who's been so impressive throughout wherever she's been asked to play, and Scotland have an opportunity to close this out, and they have got away with that.
It was backwards and then knock on
got
by
away with that because it was a 3-to-1 overlap, and Scotland could not execute. And had they,
tap backwards and then
that
forwards.
may well have been the game.
Yeah, we see Martin here. She sees a little bit of a dog leg in between two players and tries to pass in between it, but Louise Galvin gets a hand to a pass back to Sandy Newton, just a knock on there.
Change in the front row for Ireland. Into the game comes Laura Feely, and out goes Lindsay Peat.
7.
And change also for Scotland. Cadigan into the game. Siobhan Cadigan, and it's Geldon who they said was coming off, but it's not she.
Okay, just wait then, please.
Just having a look to see.
Back and come, please.
I think it's Malcolm that's
Yeah, it is
off.
Malcolm. Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Let's go, girls. Right, stand first, girls. Go. Second.
It's Rachel Malcolm who makes way, and it's Retty wearing 16 on this near side flank. And Scotland feed the ball, and Nicole Cronin's done a terrific job. Around she went. Ball squirts out the back of the Scottish scrum. Ireland scrum half, the quickest to react, and possession is secured. 6 minutes left on the clock, 3-point game. Ireland 7 metres away from their own line. Scotland have been an absolute nuisance at the breakdown for Ireland the whole way through this game. Back with Flood. Over the head of Maxwell. And back there is Raleigh. And she looks to turn defence into attack, and Fitzhenry, what a tackle on Thompson to turn the ball over.
Check that, I didn't have a full view. Release!
Thompson still hasn't got up. Cronin, Malloy.
Is it to stop the game, or can I play?
Referee checking to see if he needs to stop the game for that injury, and the advice from his television match official is stop.
Time off, just relax. I didn't have a full view of it, okay?
Wow, that
Stefano,
was
I'm coming
an
to you,
enormous
okay?
hit in midfield. The question
But check for possible foul play at the contact in the middle.
Stefano Penne and Ian Tempest, the referee and television match official, was this legal? The question is, did Fitzhenry hit a player without the ball? Thompson.
Frame by frame?
Frame by frame, no, frame by frame, and when it's slowed, and yes, you can see that that she's hit her before she has the ball. In real time, it's very difficult to be critical of a player. She knew where it was going, she got there, maybe.
And she was fully committed at that stage as well.
It's going to be interpretation from the referee.
This is the best angle we have.
Okay.
As you can see, point of contact is legal.
Yeah.
If we talk about the player, the blue player is deemed to be in possession of the ball. There is nothing illegal.
So the point of contact is what they wanted to look at, below the shoulder.
I want to see that again, please, because I've had obviously a call to stop the game. So I want to see that again, please, Stefano. So what are you saying? Are you saying that tackle is now legal?
Yes, tackle is legal.
Show me again, please.
Well, the fact that they are going into this detail on it tells you how marginal it is. It's legal in terms of it's below the shoulder. It's hard, very, very hard. Massive hit from Fitzhenry. Thompson knocked backwards, but
this is the best angle we have.
Okay, so the tackle is legal, okay, and then Green in possession. So you've asked me to stop the game, Green in possession going forward. So I'm going to give a scrum to Green whether they were in possession.
Scrum to Green, correct.
I think the referee is subtly making the point to his television match official.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with the tackle.
What am I looking at?
I think that's to stop the game.
Yeah,
Green in possession.
But it was, I mean, look, it's easy to say that from an Irish perspective. If you're from a Scottish perspective, you say that needed to be looked at. It was marginal. It was.
Yeah, give me a scrum.
But the referee was looking at it, or the TMO was looking at it from a sense of the tackle being high. I would have never had said that the tackle was high at any stage.
Nor did I think it was high. It was a question of timing. 5 minutes, just slightly more left on the clock. We'll resume with the scrum to Ireland. Scottish 10-metre line in what is a game right on the edge. 3 points in it, in Scotland's favour.
Set!
Ireland, of course, off to England for their final game next weekend. Scots will face Italy. Cronin at the bottom of the scrum, knocks it forward.
Number 9.
It's turned over.
These
frustration.
Are the errors that we talk about, that Ireland are putting themselves under pressure. She had it there. You know, the scrum was in a good spot and she just needed to clear it out of there.
Thank you.
Have to say, though, the improvement in the Scottish scrum since Conkle's gone in there. Although her best position is at 8 when she's going to be on the ball a little bit more, she's shored up that Scottish scrum.
She sure has. That is she, Jade Conkle on the far side.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Ireland still get the squeeze on, and through comes Malloy. Cronin on her shoulder, Malloy goes after the ball. Griffin now, Scotland throw bodies to secure possession inside final 5 minutes. 3 points, and crucially from Scotland's perspective, they have the ball.
All off.
As Baxter and Fitzpatrick try and change that, but they can't. McDermott makes the tackle. Scotland hold on tight. It's taken on by Smith. Ireland again committing numbers. Again it's Malloy, now Maxwell and Martin. Ireland desperate to try and get their hands on it. Maxwell back, and
20.
Martin will say play down there. Flood across, Galvin out there as well, and Galvin is the one who secures possession, and Flood almost caught in 2 minds and
play on,
hit
off the head.
Terrell on the head, so
release,
no knock
release.
forward.
Off the head.
Cronin, loads of room, Malloy. All of a sudden, it needs to go to the speedsters. Ireland have a gap, it's with Cronin, but it's knocked forward.
Forward.
It's knocked forward.
On forward.
What could have been there? First of all, a brilliant kick by Lisa Martin. She had seen, we'll just look at this, Fee Reedy gets it out to Katie Fitzhenry, who pops it back inside, but then Louise Galvin just overrun it, and it was forward to Nicole Cronin, who picked it up.
I have to say, when you look at that again, I'm not sure that went forward. And the hand goes up from Louise Galvin.
Prior to that, though, Ireland were messing around in their own 22 again. Thankfully, it went off Hannah Tyrrell's head that it wasn't a knock-on, but Kim Flood just should have cleared those lines and played it up, because originally it was a brilliant kick from Lisa Martin. She saw that Louise Galvin had come up in the line and put it in over her head. Louise Galvin had to chase back, and someone just needed to clear out of their 22.
The face of Claire Malloy, Nicole Cronin, Ashley Baxter. Ireland, with 3 minutes left on the clock, are staring down the barrel of a first Six Nations defeat to Scotland.
You still got someone down.
Scotland have had to live off scraps in this second half. They've had to live on their wits. They've had to live, scramble.
Crouch!
But they have.
Bind.
They find themselves 3 points up away from home on the brink of their own little bit of history, but Ireland are not done yet. And the scrum goes forward, and somehow Scotland come away with a penalty.
Handling in the scrum.
Ireland put their hands on the ball while it was
Thanks,
still
buddy.
in the scrum, and
Handling the
yeah,
scrum.
not allowed to do that.
Yeah, Nicole Cronin, that was really silly. It was still in the scrum. Ireland were going forward. She should have just waited for her time to pounce when it came out, or let Ireland keep going, and they're under pressure that it comes back on Ireland's
Okay,
side.
Green, thanks.
Again, it's just hand the ball back to Scotland. Scotland just take their time now, slow it down. There's only 2 minutes left.
You're more. Yeah.
2 minutes on the clock, shortened line out. 3 points in it, in Scotland's favour. Skeldon. Front of the line, out they go. Ball is secured. And Scotland will try just to suck the life out of this game. Maxwell, it'll pop inside to Harris. And it's been, well, the referee, I think, has said forward pass. Forward pass, so scrum to Ireland. And there it is, and it was forward. And Baxter shouted at the referee. And Ireland will get, this may well be their last bite at this game. Just over a minute left.
Crouch!
Just outside their 22. And they're going to have to do something that they found hard to do the whole way through this game, and it's to be precise and accurate for significant number of phases. Nupu, Flood, Tyrrell, and Tyrrell steps back. Again, not straightforward at the breakdown, but it's there for Cronin.
Not for me,
and
no
Malloy.
play on, not for me.
And
No,
Malloy
no!
sets it up, and the scrum half is there once again. Paula Fitzpatrick inside the final minute. Ireland have made their way from the 22 towards the 10-metre line. Nupu straightens it up. Ireland through Baxter get the bodies in to make sure the ball is secured. Kira Griffin, Ireland's captain. Conkle
Tackle and move.
made the tackle, but
All right.
at the breakdown, Scotland are penalised,
Yeah.
and Ireland will be able to get
looking
some
ball.
yardage here in
Yeah,
terms
fine,
of
you've got time for
kicking
line out
for
to go
touch
back in.
and
Well away.
starting the last
looking ball
phase
to
of
the
this
ball.
game inside Scottish territory. Flood must find touch, which she does, and does well inside the Scottish 10-metre line. Clock goes red.
Thank you.
Laura Feely and Ireland.
Receive it, two, go 2 meters.
Last throw of the dice. And Scotland have got players in the air, and they've disrupted, and it's into touch. And that is Scotland's day. Wonderful scenes for Scotland's women as they win against Ireland for the first time in their Six Nations history. 15 points to 12. They've won it by 3, and Ireland stand with hands on hips and look at each other and wonder, how did it get to here? But in truth, they made too many errors, and Scotland took advantage of the opportunities that were there for them, and it is their day. And on their day, let's talk about the player of the match.
Yeah, look, I think Ireland kind of had players there. Keena Maloney was driving from the front. Kira Griffin in the second half really stood up. But when you look at that Scotland team and who was driving them forward every time, it's Jake Conkling, number 8, moving from back row into scrum, shoring it up slightly, carrying good ball. Defensively, when Ireland were counting their line, she's putting in good hits. You know, she really was all around the pitch as well.
Well, in every team's development, you know there are moments that they mark down as turning points, and for Scottish women's rugby, as difficult as it is for Ireland on this day, for Scottish women's rugby, and indeed for the development of the game in this part of the world, for Scotland to win away from home, big day in women's Six Nations rugby, added to Italy winning in Wales.
Yeah, I'm gutted for Ireland, but I think this is great. It's brilliant for the competition, and all credit to Scotland, what they've done over the last couple of years, and Shade Munro, their coach, that what he's come in and done with this young squad.
Final score at Donnybrook, Ireland 12, Scotland 15.